Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. It is yours truly, Jimmy Bay. And as always, it's never going to change. To the right of me, I have Albert. Albert, how the heck have you been? And how have you been enjoying your wrestling?
I've been really good. Wrestling's been fun. Monday was a little bit of a rough day for me. I have a show in 2 weeks, so I was in rehearsals all night. But on my way home, I threw on Raw as it was live, which was good because I seem to get lucky that on my drive home, I always seem to get hit with like the end of a match. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. But then I get a promo segment, so it's like, all right, I can enjoy this while I'm if I'm driving, I can just listen to it. I don't have to watch it. So kind of works out. But I came back home. I watched most of Raw, and then I fell asleep, and then woke up the next morning and watched the rest of Raw.
And on Netflix, and that's amazing.
It's great. The one thing I will say, if we want to complain just a tiny bit, I did enjoy that when Raw first launched live on Netflix, you were allowed to kind of start the show as the show was going on. So now if I want to watch Raw, and I get out of work at if I get out of my rehearsal at like 10 o'clock, I'm watching just as we are. So I'm usually like right before, on that cusp of just getting there before the main event. You used to be able to start the show over completely from the beginning and have it just catch up. They don't allow you to do that anymore. And that's kind of disappointing.
When did that change?
It's been for like 2 months now. I feel like it's
feel like it's only happened to me like once, because it's very rare that I don't have Raw on when it starts. It's just that's my ritual for the week. Like, I'm not missing Raw. I'm watching it live. But
I'm with you. 99.9% of the time, outside of when I have rehearsals, that's mine too.
I feel like there was one a few weeks ago where I was started at like 15 minutes late, and I was able to start it over.
I haven't been able.
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't been able to for like, I want to say the majority of the time it's been on Netflix now. And that's the one thing I will say. Other than that, I think it's been great on Netflix. I think I love the idea. When I was a kid and we would be, coming back, not that my parents and I drove like long distances a lot, but there would be times where we'd be coming back from someplace. And I'm like, man, wrestling's on. I wish I'd be able to just like put on the radio just to know what was going on. Yeah. Like, instead of like a baseball game, it'd be wrestling. And now that's kind of what we have with Raw on Netflix. Like, I can't watch it. I'm driving, obviously, but I have it on in the background so that I can listen to hear what's going on. And and it's great that now it's almost like I have like the Raw radio on my way home to kind of keep me up with it. So it's been great. That's my only complaint I think that I have since Raw's been on Netflix.
I'm surprised they haven't branched out to like Sirius to have just like Raw live where you just listen to the commentators talk the show.
Right,
and I'm surprised honestly, that's not a thing yet. That's crazy.
Right. And like, honestly, what you really should do is hire a separate announce team for that, because they would have to be a lot more descriptive.
That'd be perfect, like Pat McAfee with his energy.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And it would get him off the TV, and that's even better.
It'll never happen, but
it'll never happen.
Yeah,
I get it. Comments, and then we'll get to the show. Harry says, "Hey, yo, Courtney, hello, friends." Harry says he wants the rest of the old Raw episodes. I haven't even began to like look to see if they've added anything on yet. I'm really curious about their European crowd, though, like how much they have on. How much they have at this point, because it's been a while, so they should have more.
Man, I don't even care about it being on Netflix at this point. I just want the network back and to have all the stuff from the vault and all the footage that they're uploading now and all the old footage that they used to have on the network. Just give me that back. You can I'll pay $10 a month for all of that. I'm fine with it. And you can keep Raw on Netflix, and I'll still pay for that. And you can keep the PLEs on Peacock, and I'll still pay for that. Just give me the network back with everything cataloged the right way, with the ability to skip to matches like we used to have. I mean, we were spoiled.
That's the only gripe I've had since they stopped doing the network, is not being able to just skip the things. Having to fast forward through shows just to find a certain match is not fun.
Yeah, I watch the Royal Rumbles every year. It sucks.
Yes, exactly. And it's like I hate it when I go too far. I'm like, oh,
right,
spoil something. Courtney says she loves doing that. I'm referring to the watching it late so that you can catch up on it. But yeah, it's just been a thing start it when it starts live since I've been a kid. If I'm home on a Monday night, I'm in front of
Oh yeah.
5 minutes before the show starts. I'm not missing. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Normally,
in the chat, what is up, Ronald? Good to have you back, bud.
so normally my Monday ritual is that so Tamara goes to acting. She has an acting group that she's in. So that's her Monday night thing. She's in the city, and I get home from work and I make myself dinner and I watch Raw. Like it's just like that's normally if I'm home, when I'm home, that's it. Like that's my routine. So I'm with you. Even like SmackDown on Fridays, if she's not home, or even if she is, sometimes I'll be like, hey, look, we've been home all day. Load up on as much as you want to watch because from 8 to now 11 because it's running. Yeah, I'm gonna watch SmackDown. So
Raw is literally it's most 90% of the time. It's like let's order pizza. I want my pizza. Watch wrestling. Like I love pizza. I love wrestling. It's perfect Monday night. It's my thing. Y'all could have whatever y'all want the rest of the week. I just want my pizza and Monday Night Raw on Monday. Let's see. Harry says Pat McAfee shouldn't have got offense on. I don't think what he got in was a big deal because Gunther pretty much sold it. Even the punt kicks, which I was kind of at first like that's kind of messed up, and I was like, nah, good.
Yeah.
For it. I thought the match was perfectly done. How they executed and everything, I thought it was perfectly done.
I agree.
Lou in the chat, what up, Lou? Thank you for joining as always, bud. Courtney says she's never not home before wrestling comes on. She dedicated. She's probably the biggest wrestling fan I know at this point. Like she watches it all. She loves it all. She's there for it. She's a great wrestling fan. Good job, Courtney. I envy you to an extent.
Yeah, there's a lot of points in my life where I wish that I had the excess time to just watch every wrestling program that's ever been made. Like I would love to just sit around and just watch New Japan or AAA or anything, like that would be great,
That's my thing. Like if I had the time, I wouldn't have to just like pick what I'm prioritizing and I'd watch a lot more. Like that's why there's been a few times I've applied for the categorizing of the wrestling on the network. There's like they have like job postings where it's like, yeah, you just watch everything in the vault and then you categorize it and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, sign me up.
Let's go.
Never get that one. I never get the right. Well, I never get any of the jobs I apply for at WB. They must hate me or something.
I know. I applied for the writers one too the last time. And it's funny. Every time it comes up, I love how supportive she is. My fiance is like, just put in the application. What's the worst that can happen? I'm like,
that's it.
They're never going to hire me. And I do it, and then I got my hopes up, and then they don't call.
Not to get political, because I have no affiliation here, but we literally have a president who had no experience, who's just like, I'm just gonna go for it.
Right?
And it worked.
Why can't that be us?
Yeah. Don't worry about having experience. Just go for it. Shoot your shot. That's what
Shoot for the stars.
Says he's got to get his tired butt out of bed, get ready for work. Hey,
Oof.
I appreciate you spending time with us as you get your tired butt out of bed and getting ready for work. I hate that you got to go to work early, but I do appreciate you spending your time with us, man. And then he says, I like how we tease Logan, Paul, Gunther, and Rollins all having tension with one another as opposed to just having them all against Jay. Yes, this creates the illusion that, hey, Logan Paul could walk out of Saturday Night Main Event with that title.
Yes.
It really does. I don't think he does. But it creates the illusion because everything is now intertwined and it makes for great stuff.
And now we've gotten the start now. We see how the main events, what the main event of Raw was. We got Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. We know that's, a setup. They're trying to set us up for Rollins and Jey Uso. But Jay's got 2 title defenses to get through. And I love that they've intertwined each and every one of them. Gunther had his interaction with Seth. Logan had his interaction with Seth. Gunther had his interaction with Logan. Everybody's intermingling. And I really love that the way that they're doing this. This reminds me of some older school, ruthless aggression era Vince booking. That was good, like the good stuff where we get, all these big top guys, coming out and being like, man, I don't care who it is. I don't care which one of you guys I win this title off of, but that title's mine and I want it. Yeah. And it shows that now.
I'd be fainting with you. Right.
And it also gives that world championship that prestige. Everybody wants it. And I like that this is what we need for this championship. Rollins did a great job. Gunther's done a great job of making this a championship that people want and to be recognized as a world title. And this, to me, furthers it. Everybody wants that belt. That's what it should be there for.
Oh, man, it says looking good. Hey, babe, no, it is you that's looking good. Thank you. Thank you, though. You're very generous. But no, it is you that is looking good. Don't try and front like that. So yeah, let's jump into the show. We're gonna do some Saturday Night Main Event, but before we get there, I have to ask Albert a question. I want to know what's up with this whole shit right here. No, that's not even what I'm trying to do. God, man, I did it wrong. Let me pull it up somewhere else. Man, I was not prepared. I'm so sorry. I thought I had it. I thought I had it, everybody. I'm sorry.
You thought you were prepared, but it's
I
all right.
uploaded it to the wrong area. Here we go. What's up with this whole shit right here?
He's asking a question
for the people who are listening. It's Finn Balor's tweets where he's hollering at Dom Mysterio, "Hey, what'd you get up to last night, mate? After trying to sick Roxanne on him." I know the game.
Whoa!
I know the game he's playing, bro.
Roxanne on him.
What's up with that?
Look. I think that he's just. Maybe they didn't hang out last night, so he asked what was going on. I mean, you're reading way too much into this. You can't sit there and say that Finn specifically sicked Roxanne on Dom. Roxanne also gave a bag of apples to Carlito as well. It's not like the chicken tendies were the only gift that was given out. She had gifts for the Judgment Day. She gave Carlito apples too, Courtney.
First off, Finn been talking to Roxanne in the background for 2 weeks prior to this.
Yes, he has been.
Because he's jealous of Dom for beating him at WrestleMania. 2, he's taking advantage of the fact that Liv Morgan isn't there, and he's using Roxanne. He goes, "Oh, I saw what happened last year between Liv, Rhea, and Dom. I'm going to recreate this. Hey, Roxanne, you should join Judgment Day. You know the best way to get into Judgment Day? You should go get Dom some chicken tendies." And what's this girl do? She brings him chicken nuggets like a dummy. It ain't gonna work. Luckily, Dom's too smart for this. It ain't gonna work. And the whole that he didn't give him chicken tendies, Courtney. Gave him chicken nuggets, and there's a huge difference. Very, very, very huge difference here. If you give me an option between tendies and nuggets, I'm taking tendies 10 times out of 10. Like, it's just a fact.
Not the Shake Shack nuggets. We had this conversation before. We got to have them,
bro. Take Publix tendies over any other kind of chicken on the planet. This is some just straight up. This is against the bro code. And the Apple thing is because Carlito is Dom's number one guy. He don't think he has to sway JD because he thinks JD's his boy. And Carlito is Dom's boy, so he has got to persuade Carlito as well. But where she messed up, or where Finn messed up, is not doing anything for Raquel. This booty, you know it.
First and foremost, are you telling me now? Let's just say that this is even true. I'll give you credit and say that you're right here. If that even is the case, him trying to get Dom some is against the bro code. It's
because he's got a girl and Liv.
And
what if I was trying to get you a girl? Would that be cool?
Well, it's different. I'm engaged, so you know.
So there's bro code.
Yeah.
That's horrible. You don't respect that man or his woman.
It's not against the bro code. It's kind of more against his relationship with Liv, because let's be honest.
Tomato.
No. He's not doing anything. What's the worst case scenario in that situation is that what? Oh no. Dom breaks up with Liv and has another hot girlfriend thanks to Finn. Oh no, what a terrible person Finn Balor's being.
While giving Dom the reputation that will not be real. He's trying to give him a bad reputation.
That's a bad reputation?
I thought that's a bad reputation, because then how many girls how many girls are gonna keep lining up to go with this man?
What a terrible scenario this is!
If he keeps leaving the girl prior for the new girl, no girl gonna line up to be with him anymore.
Poor Dom! That would be terrible!
That's bullcrap.
No, man. Does does that mean that Dom would have to run through and date the entire women's locker room? Oh man, poor guy. Poor guy.
They would catch on like, oh, he's just gonna dump me for the next girl, so they gonna go mess with him.
You say that until someone's desperate and say, well, I'm going to use Dom for his spot.
This is bull crap. Dom had Liv. Yeah, but Rhea was terrible. Liv is not terrible. Liv has been.
What are we even talking about here?
Rhea just beat him all the time. Would always put him down. Didn't believe in him. Liv believed in him. Liv got him to beat that deadbeat. Liv got him a PlayStation. Liv brought him chicken tendies. Liv treats him as an equal, not as a beneath her. Liv is great.
Just
for Finn to do this is some blasphemy booty.
The thing is Finn sees what's going on. Liv bought her way into the Judgment Day. And even Finn tried to help her get in there too. And then as soon as she got there, what did she do? She made nice with everyone. She brought in her own people. She buys everybody gifts. She buys her way in. And then all of a sudden, everybody's on Liv's side. Liv isn't good for all of them. She just worked her way into a good situation.
Dom. Since she's been there, has Dom been better off or worse off?
I mean,
he beat Ray for the first time once Liv came on board.
Okay, that's the one thing she has.
He became a better leader since Liv got there. That's a real relationship. They show up to do things together, and they're equal. Whereas with Rhea, she literally carried him to the back like, you're mine now, like some caveman nonsense.
How could he be a leader if they're equal? Then they would both be leaders. That means he's not really the leader. It's because
women, he leads the men.
No, it's because the reality of this. The reality of the situation is that Liv wants to make Dom feel that that's the case. But the real part of the situation is that Liv is the leader of the group. The messed up thing is that there was a point where they kept saying there's no leaders, but then there was a point where clear cut, Rhea basically came out and said, yeah, I'm the leader of this group. And at least she was honest about it. Liv is underhanded, and she's just trying, and she just swooped in and took a group that wasn't even hers and became the leader of it. She's trash. How dare you compare her to Rhea Ripley? This is blasphemy.
First, we got a lot of comments to get to. I just want to point this one out. No, Harry, as much as I love your fact checking and you help us out so much, you're wrong here. Technically, he was with Rhea the first time he beat Ray, but he was tag teaming with Liv when it happened, when he pinned Ray for the first time. It was Liv that got him that, not Rhea. And I'm looking it up just to make sure I'm not wrong, but I know I'm not wrong. Let me see this. Let me get these other comments while I'm pulling this up. Ron says Burger King chicken fingers and nuggets are low tier. I don't think they're nuggets or anything, but their chicken fries are amazing.
They are really good.
Amazing. And I hear so much about Publix. I wonder why my region doesn't have it. So it's a southern thing, and it's kind of moving its way up. I heard it's gotten as far up as Kentucky. I don't know how far west it's gotten, but man, them chicken nugget, like the chicken tenders, it's like if you go to Publix, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get a Publix sub. People they offer so many subs, but everyone's like, oh, you getting that chicken tender because it's that good. People just assume you're going there to get some chicken tender subs. It's amazing.
That was like Wawa. We didn't have Wawas out here for the longest time. They're still not in New York, but at least they made it out to Jersey. But like for the longest time, we never had any of them either.
I think that crap's overrated. I like what's that one that's up there in Pennsylvania that we
Sheets.
Sheets
Sheets is good. Yeah. So I have family in Pennsylvania. Sheets is good.
There's one in Arkansas. I saw it's spelled K-U-M and go. So come and go. Never been. I do like the name. I think it's pretty clever.
I used to live there actually.
Ron asks, "What happened first? What happens first? Dom versus Finn or Jacob versus Solo?" He notices WB often uses parallel similar running angles on different shows. Yeah, on different shows they do that sometimes. So I'll ask you real quick, just a quick answer. Which one do you think happens first?
I think that we're closer to Jacob and Solo breaking up right now than we are to Finn and Dom.
Yeah, the Judgment Day one's going to be a slow burn because that's a cow they've been milking for a long time, and they're not going to just all of a sudden start making it fast. It's going to be a slow one. I say Dom and Finn probably at SummerSlam. That's what I think.
I don't know how much longer we get Jacob and Solo together. Yeah, I mean,
that Money in the Bank, honestly.
Yeah, Solo's one errant spike or a loss away from Jacob just beating the living daylights out of him.
They don't have. He says they don't have a leader as well. Technically, they don't have a leader, but you have Dom and Liv as the forefront. And when people listen to them and go by their things, good things happen. When the other guy tries to stick his nose and stuff, it all unfolds.
If they would just listen to Finn, they would win. That's why it rhymes.
How often has that worked for them?
How often have they successfully run the play that Finn called?
They have quite a few times, and they lost. They'd be tag team champions if they listened to Finn and if Finn's plan worked.
They were tag team champions.
No, after when they try to get him back, they'd be tag champs if his plan worked, and it didn't. Lou says, "F Dom, F you, pal, F you," and I hope the Pacers win tonight. I don't even have to plan, but I hope they win by 30. How about that, Lou?
They are. They definitely are.
Halliburton, baby.
Game 1.
I hope he slaps Brunson across the back of the head.
Did not appreciate him getting promo time on Monday Night Raw. That was.
They know what's up. They know what's up. So I don't even know. I couldn't even find I'm just peeved at that. Dom never beat Ray. He never pinned Ray. He never won a match against Ray until Liv was there to help him. That's what happened. And then Harry says he thinks Dom and Liv versus Finn and Roxanne Perez at Mania 42. I don't think it lasts that long.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't. Ron says he hopes the Knicks win. Honestly, I don't really care who wins. I just don't want Lou to have a good night. How about that? How about that? Crossing the line, drip jerk. No, you crossed the line when you said F Dom. That's blasphemy. I can't even believe he's over here defending his boy Finn like this. That's crazy. That is crazy. We're going to talk about this all night if I don't move on, though.
You just keep trying to prove a point that you believe is true, but it's not.
That's whole behavior. Anyways, we're moving on to Saturday night in the main event. This is Wednesday night main event, and we're here to talk about the Saturday night main event. So what match do you want to talk about first?
First of all, I just really want to throw this out real quick. The Saturday Night's Main Event theme song is the catchiest song ever. Every time I think of Saturday Night's Main Event, it plays in my head, and it's just amazing. It's good. You know what?
Wait. Hold on. Before we pick, I'll still let you pick. Yeah. I'll say this. Do you think they add a match on SmackDown?
I kind of hope so. What is? We're at 4.
There's 4, and I believe every other one has had 5.
5, yeah. I'm hopeful that they do. I'm not sure what they would. Maybe something with the blood. I want to say the bloodline, but they're not the bloodline anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know what we'd call them anymore.
Yeah, Solo's
crew
guys, I guess. Well, really Jacob's guys. Although he's not really, I guess he really probably wouldn't be picking Solo. Wouldn't even tell him that he loved him last week.
The last one had 6 matches.
Whoa.
Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Chelsea Green and Michin, Gunther and Finn Balor, Liv and Io Sky, Drew and Sammy. And then, this was probably a
dark match.
Yeah, dark match. It was the Motor City Machine. So 5 on that one. And then the one before that had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a dark match. So yeah, they've had 5 on them. So yeah.
So yeah, I'm hopeful that they put a 5th one on there. There's only one women's match, right?
There's no women's matches on this card, and that's why I'm kind of a little bit annoyed that they haven't announced a 5th match. I thought Becky and Lyra would have gotten added after Monday, and it didn't. So it's what are we doing?
I'm okay with I would love to see a women's title fatal 4-way with Tiffany, Naomi, Jade, and Nia.
I want Jade to stay away from that title until it's time for her to win it. And that is after Money in the Bank.
I'm with you on that, but what I would like to see is there be some sort of an interaction between her and Charlotte and have Charlotte cost her to kind of lead into them going after each other. And then same thing in a 4-way, it protects her, so she doesn't have to be pinned. And if she has the match won and Charlotte costs her, then it's okay, she's on the level, right? Yeah. She's world championship material.
Harry has a good one. He'd put Come on, go up there. He'd put a
Sure.
money in the Bank qualifier on Saturday Night Event. That wouldn't be a bad idea, but it needs to be a women's match. I think it's silly to not, because I saw that Natalia had mentioned that she thinks it's time for an all-women show in WWE, and I know there's been people against it because they think that like segregates it, and like, oh well, if the women have all, like, it's not a segregation though if the women are still showing up on Raw and SmackDown. I feel like an all-women show would be literally just to almost like a development for the girls who don't really get the opportunity to wrestle as much on the main shows, and it would be like on Netflix or Peacock or whatever one they wanted to throw it on. And I think that would be vital. And this is kind of my reason for wanting it, is because we're literally a few days away from Saturday Night Main Event, and it's an all dudes card, which I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to like not watch it because there's no women's match, or throw a fit and say it was a bad show because there wasn't a women's match. But I do think they should have one. I think that's crazy. Yeah. Don't tell me that they don't deserve their own show and then have a show and not put them on it.
Right. Exactly.
That's silly. Which is why I threw Chelsea Green on the graphic, because it's like, what's up with that?
Yeah. Where is she? And why are we not? Yeah. That's the thing. You know, I think that we're at a point now where if there's not a women's match on this card, it looks weird. Right? Yeah, like what are we doing? Like, you know, it looks wrong in a way. So, you know, I think that at this point, there's enough women on the roster. Like you said, like Natty said, a whole show, yes, but there's
an hour show,
right? But there's plenty of women on the roster to get some shine on a 2-hour, you know, Saturday Night's Main Event show. I mean, come on.
And then like that's where the tag team titles could really be featured. That's where the mid cards could be main event.
Good call.
Like there's room for it. And again, this is kind of my reason for it, because now if they put a women's match on this card, it's going to be like, it just feels forced. Which is silly. And so if they were going to add one, I do think it would be a women's match, and I don't know what they would do. Maybe Chelsea Green and Alexa Bliss 1-on-1.
I don't want to watch Chelsea lose if that's going to be the case. You know that's what's going to end up
win or lose, she's the most entertaining thing on that show, so it doesn't on SmackDown, so it really doesn't matter to me. I want to see a women's match, and that's the only one I feel like that has any continuity going into there, that they could be like, all right, y'all gonna wrestle and this is where it'll happen.
They have a couple of stories that they have built right now. Like I can see them doing like Meechin and BFAB versus the Secret Hervis. I can see them I'm trying to think of other, and like I said, SmackDown, they have those 4 women kind of intertwining right now. They have that whole thing going on with Alexa and Charlotte. Like there's a lot of different stories.
To counteract that one, I would say Saturday Night's Main Event is stacked with superstars. Like this one is stacked.
It is.
They're like really stacking this show. So it's like, okay, if I was going to add a match, obviously they're not adding one from Raw at this point. So we're looking at SmackDown. Who's the 2 girls you could put in a match that would be on that same level? And Chelsea Green and Alexa Bliss are there.
Yeah. Or even if they do like a 6-woman tag too, even if they join, you know, like I'm okay with that. Just give me something. Give me something that we can sink our teeth into.
Or just do the qualifier, like Harry said, do a triple threat qualifier. That's cool. I'm 100% okay with that.
Speaking of which, you know, get well soon, Zoe Stark. That was, oh my God, oof. That hurt my soul watching that.
Screams. I felt I
know. I felt horrible when I saw that. Oh my God.
Ron says Cena and Truth could be a longer match. See, I don't think it's going to be a very long match, which really makes it weird that they don't have the 5th match.
I have a feeling that they're going to tell a decent story here. This is actually what I wanted to start with.
For sure.
I think it's going to be a decent 15-minute.
Okay, so you want to start with this one?
Let's do it.
And we'll just go into it, because Ron says, imagine if R-Truth actually wins.
Well, it's non-title. It's non-title, so it's possible.
It's non-title?
It's non-title.
It is. Oh, my goodness.
So as soon as I...
a little bit more interesting.
So 2 things. You know, Jimmy, I know you're no longer on the Twitter machine. A lot of people were very, very largely complaining about the fact of, why is R-Truth getting a world title shot? What has he done to earn it? Well, here's the answer.
He's attention for the last 10 years.
Right. But here's your answer. He's not getting a world title shot. So, and then if you're going to sit there and go, well, why is John Cena on a PLE if he's going to, or like a major event as world champion, he's not defending the title? Because he's facing a guy who has personal animosity with him who doesn't deserve a title shot. It's all right there. Yeah. So this is just now wrestling fans complaining to complain. I love this match. I think that this is a match that every single person was talking about when John Cena came back. They were like, we've got to get some John Cena R-Truth, interactions, either a tag team or whatever. Like, this is what we wanted.
We did the whole, what do we want to see on the John Cena retirement tour? And I wanted to see John Cena and R-Truth as a tag team win the titles. That's what I wanted. But since they went a different route with John Cena, it's like, okay, well, the only other thing that's logical if Cena's went down the dark side is to have them wrestle each other. Which is a great idea because one, R-Truth can still go.
Yes.
Two, that man is deserving of any opportunity they want to give him. Like he delivers every chance they get. Like he does the 5-second stuff and kills it every single time. There's so much history built into this with going back to when R-Truth was a heel with The Miz, right?
Yep.
Like there's so much history here between those two. So why not?
Longer than that.
It's not a wasted match for John Cena. One, Cena wanted it, and two, R-Truth is awesome.
Remember, you want a little known reminder of how deep this feud goes. Do you remember the match that happened before CM Punk dropped his pipe bomb? It was R-Truth beating John Cena in a tables match.
Ron says, "Don't forget the real life heat with Cena." I don't know of that, so I don't know. That's kind of crazy, but Cena and Travis versus Truth and Hookah. Nah, I think this is a one-off with Cena and Truth. He gonna beat him, and then that'll be it. But
right, I think it's a perfect Saturday Night's Main Event match.
Yeah, I do think it's gonna be again. We saw the John Cena kind of like question himself at the end of Backlash. So to bring in the guy who has always been John Cena's number one fan on TV to kind of come and try and pull it out of him. And the promo he cut was amazing.
Yes.
Talking about, I'm going to do this. That's not John Cena. Like I still love John Cena because he's this, he stands for this, he stands for this, but that's not John Cena. And I'm going to beat it out of him. Like that's great. Like I genuinely don't get why anyone would see that and not be like, okay, I'm with this. It's good stuff.
It really is. Not only that.
Oh man, you just blew my mind with that. I didn't realize it wasn't for the title. So things could get really interesting here.
They can. So look, not only that, if we have to remember, and this is something that people are very much forgetting about Saturday Night's Main Event. We put Saturday Night's Main Event on a pedestal because at one point, Saturday Night's Main Event was the flagship WWE show. That was like it. Like major things happened on Saturday Night's Main Event. Then, as time went on, Saturday Night's Main Event really became a glorified house show. And that's what these shows really are. It's almost like a live broadcasted house show. And that's why, if you notice what the cards are, usually it's big matches. Because that's what you usually get at a house show. You get, top guys working against each other. But you also get some of these little weird, funky, like, oh, we're going to throw these guys in a tag match, like Punk and Rollins and Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker in a tag. Right, and that's the idea. R-Truth versus John Cena is the perfect match for this show. You want to put it on a show where it's featured because people want to see it, but you don't want to put it on a PLE because that's too much for it. Saturday Night's Main Event is that perfect medium.
Yeah, again, this is the reason why I've left because people just say things to say things, and there's no real thought or feeling behind them. Man, that actually does blow my mind that it's not a title match. I still think Cena. There's no way Cena loses.
I don't think he loses, but
there is that small chance at this point.
Yeah, and I like that because
Cody returns. R-Truth wins. Randy comes back to get some revenge.
Right.
R-Truth wins. Like, yeah, this is interesting. I'm really looking forward to the story they're going to tell with R-Truth trying to just get the John Cena back.
Right.
And Cena just refusing to like deal with it and just keeps beating Truth. But Truth, I would like this match to go to no decision, honestly. I want it to be John Cena just beating him until the ref has to stop the match. That's how I would book it.
I like that.
Yeah, because the group chat talks about it, that he's not. They don't really feel like Cena's done anything to really be hated yet. I think this would tip that cap.
Yeah,
if
I agree.
He had to like physically be removed from Truth after Truth was trying to just bring that John Cena back that we all know and love, except for Albert. And I think that's good stuff. So yeah, that's how I would book it. I'm curious how they're going to do this route. I'm very much looking forward to the story they're going to tell in the match. It's probably going to be the most entertaining match of the show.
So you mean you want John Cena to bring back his fake self? Gotcha.
Yeah. It's more fun. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say this is probably the most. This is the most anticipated match for me. I don't think it'll be the best match, but I do think it'll be the most entertaining one.
Yes, I completely agree. Couldn't put it better myself.
If we will. Let's see. Ron
and
says, question specifically for Albert: does it put you in a compromising position being a Ricochet fan with him being the current AEW IWC anti WWE flag waiver?
So yes and no. Initially, I kind of got that way. I was like, man, what are we doing here? Like, why are we doing this? But Ricochet is in gimmick on Twitter. Yeah. He's just riding this character out. And I appreciate people staying in gimmick while they're on Twitter. Look, you can say what you want, but Ricochet being in character got Javion Evans to, flip his mind. And all the dude's doing is being in character. This, to me, is fine because it fits what Ricochet's doing. I don't like it when people do this specifically to just be the person that's just like, I'm going to be a jerk just to be a jerk so I can get other jerks with me so we can be jerks to more people together. That's not what he's doing. He's doing a gimmick. He's working the gimmick well. And as a matter of fact, what he's doing, in my mind, is a gimmick that if years ago, I had thought up and I was like, this is what heels should be doing nowadays. You should really just play this imaginary warfare up in these people's heads and you're going to be the king of it.
Yeah.
And I think he's doing a great job.
Especially if you can maneuver through it. Good.
Right. And he's been doing a good job for a guy who everyone said didn't have the greatest mic skills in the world. Apparently it just took a different character for him to be able to show what he can really do.
And a little cocky geek. That's what I call. That's what I consider. I consider to be a cocky geek.
Right.
But he's the kind of geek that you want from a heel, not the kind of geek that's just like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, so no, like I want to see this dude get his butt whooped. That's good heel work.
There's 3 levels of geek. There's really ultra nerdy that you don't even want to go anywhere near. Right? There's
geek that sucks. I consider the Young Bucks to be the kind of geeks that you don't want to be. That's me.
Right. And then there's that middle ground of being so geeky, but being so oblivious about it that it's almost endearing. Like what they did in the beginning with Daniel Bryan, where they were just like, oh, wow, he's such a nerd. All he does is like wrestling. That's all he doesn't have any other life. What a geek. But we love him because we love wrestling, like that's the kind. And that's what what I like about Ricochet is that's what he's trying to be, right? He's trying to be that, but he's being he's so uncool about it that it makes him, like you said, like the Young Bucks, these geeks that you shouldn't want to be like. And I think that it works perfectly for the character.
Yeah. He leans into all the right things, and it's worked for him. I'm blown away by how much he's impressed me in AEW. He's one of the reasons I literally continue to watch it after starting again a few weeks ago. He's one of the best parts of it.
Yeah, he's 100%.
Like him, Lou. Ricochet his buns. I know you don't like him, Lou. I was bored of him in WWE. I never really cared for him to begin with. I thought he was amazingly talented, just didn't care. He's made me care in AEW. I think he's done a really good job.
Yeah.
And then Ron says one more part about this John Cena Truth match, and then we'll move to the next. He says, imagine if to help build up a Cena face turn, he has a Cody-like moment of hesitation and loses the match in a full circle moment. So just to tweak that a little bit, I feel like him about to do something to R-Truth and then having that hesitation kind of like, I shouldn't do this. And the fans kind of start to and then it, like, snaps him back into it, like, no, screw you, and then does it.
Right.
I think something like that would probably work a little bit better. Because again, I don't think Cena should lose the match. I just don't. Because then you'd have to have Truth versus Cena for the title again. And I don't want to waste 2 matches. This sounds bad. I don't want to waste 2 of his appearance matches on R-Truth. I just don't. So
look, there's one.
Yes,
he does.
It's peanut butter and jelly, baby.
There's one thing that I think that we thought with this Cena comeback tour was that we were going to get Cena wrestling every guy that we wanted. And once we found out that that wasn't the case, 1 match with R-Truth, 1 and done. That's it. I am totally okay with this, with Truth even coming out of this, coming back and still being the catalyst to get John Cena to turn face.
Yeah.
Still believes in him.
Never give up.
Right. My hero, John Cena, still told me, even after all that, never give up.
Harry asked if I think if Truth would ever win. No, I don't. Because in the interview with Chris Van Vliet, he did talk about it and how it's like, man, it would be really cool. So it kind of sucks that it's not a thing for him. Because again, he deserves something. Like it wouldn't make me mad if it happened. I just don't think it's going to, because he's found a spot and it works. So they're never going to move away from it, because it's always going to work.
Right.
I'll compare it to Samantha Irvin. They didn't want her to move off of ring announcing because she was so good at it.
Right.
It wasn't that they're like, no, we don't want to do anything for you. It's like, no, you are perfect for this job. And that's where we want you, because nobody's going to be able to do it better. If she was still in that company trying to be a manager and not doing ring announcing, the people would be blasting whoever was trying to ring announce. They're like, get Samantha back on that thing. And it's like, that's why you can't do it. So
right.
That's my thing.
Right. Look, wrestling is a business, right? You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah. If Gunther and Taker were active at the same time, they totally would have wrestled. Ron says, yeah, and Gunther would have beat him down.
I think that's the ultimate guy that that Undertaker would have liked to have worked with, a bigger guy who can actually move and wrestle. Yeah, that because they stuck him with, like, you can't get a good match at a Giant Gonzalez. You know what I mean? Like,
Lou says Cena's going to beat the brakes off Truth really bad, I think, to slow. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think he just needs to beat him and not even try to, like, pin him. Just beat him until they're like, this match is done. Like, it's done. Stop. And then they have to, like, take him out. I don't know. That's what I would do.
Ron, I want to see your hot take and raise you a hot take. There were 2. Undertaker was active at the same time as another big guy who can move, and they never pulled the trigger on it. And I think it's actually that, Harry. Thanks for taking my exactly what I was going to say. I don't understand how they never booked this. Like, is that not the most natural opponent for Undertaker?
You'd think.
Right? It's just crazy to me. That's just one of those, like, Batista and Lesnar being in WWE at the same time and them never having a singles match. Like, to me, it, like, blows my mind that it never happened. And this is one of those, this to me is, again, one of those feuds that it's like, this is a natural, like, this is a given. I know they were always on separate shows, but man, how do you not take advantage of that? Like, Umaga's the perfect guy to work with Undertaker.
It is kind of crazy.
All right, we
gotta
get to the rest of these predictions.
So we'll move on to the next one. I'll do Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, since the Cena one isn't a title. That's crazy. That's wild. I wasn't paying attention, I guess.
A lot of people didn't notice it.
Yeah. So Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. So far, how have you enjoyed this little build they got going?
I think it's fine.
Briefly touched on it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. We talked about this last week, so we won't spend too much time on it. I think it's been fine. I think that they've been making Logan look like the sneaky heel. I think that they've been making, Logan smarter now. You saw him talk to Seth, and Seth's like, hey, dude, stay back. Hold on. You don't want to leave yet. And it gave Logan an opportunity to take advantage. I think Logan is the perfect guy to have in this spot. You want the most liked wrestler to get cheered over everybody, you have him face the most hated wrestler. And right now, Logan Paul Dom's not the most hated anymore. It's got to be Logan now.
No.
So I really think that, I think the match is going to be good. I think that their chemistry is good. I have not seen, and people can say this all they want. People say, "Oh, I like Logan Paul, but he could do all the moves, but his matches are soulless. Like they don't have any meaning behind them." BS. That is your personal bias getting in the way of the fact of watching this guy who has been able to look. Call it as however you want to say it. Dude's been able to do something that no one else has been able to do and wrestle at a high level in every match that he's ever had. He's not had a bad match.
I'll say this about what you just said, where Logan Paul can't really wrestle. He just knows the moves and does them. The people who say that watch a show where about 60% of the matches, that's all it is. So why are we upset about it? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I think Logan Paul is this amazing wrestler. I think he executes moves really well. And I think if he has a good dance partner that can lead him through a match, he has really great matches. He provides moments. And we've heard multiple, like AJ Styles and Kevin Owens have both said this. Moments are the things you're going to remember. Moments are the things that matter in a wrestling match. And Logan Paul does these really well. I'm very curious to see this match with Jey Uso, because I don't know how much of a match leader Jey Uso is. I just don't know. And that's not a knock. I don't know. This is stuff that's really above my head, and I shouldn't really know too much about it. But we all know it is a thing. So I'm curious to see how this one's going to go. I think this is going to be Logan Paul's biggest test to date.
Yeah.
I think of all the people he's wrestled in ring wise, I think Jey Uso would be the bottom of the list. And again, this is not a knock on Jey. It's just Logan Paul has wrestled some really good wrestlers.
I mean,
the best
Randy
of the
Orton, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns,
yeah.
Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes. Like the guy's not had, not had a Dominic Mysterio. The guy's not had a bad opponent.
So I am interested to see how this works. I've liked that Logan Paul has had the upper hand more times by just being a sneaky little shit.
Yes.
Because he just looks like that kind of person. And again, everyone hates him. So it's just the kind of magic you want. This is the kind of thing is like, okay, we're giving the crowd exactly what they say they want every week. Like, this is the guy everyone hates. This is the guy everyone loves. Make magic.
Right.
If the crowd isn't invested in this, they better never go back to wherever this show is. Where's this show at? I don't even know. Tampa. It's in Tampa. Tampa, you better show up for this shit. I'm not even joking, man. Like, show up, because this is a great atmosphere. This match is made for a great atmosphere.
I'm surprised you're not going.
WB is crazy with the team. They've got a little sweet for my liking. So
yeah. So I will say this. We know I'm a New Yorker. SummerSlam's coming to New York. Man, those 2 day. I looked at those 2 day ticket deals and went, yeah, right.
Hey, just give it time, man. Just give it time, and about 2 weeks out, they'll start dropping big time.
I said this from the beginning because Tamara had asked me too. She was like, "You're really not going to go?" And I was like, first and foremost, there are only 2 day tickets on sale. I am not going both days. I very much enjoy doing WrestleMania Night 1 and then being home and warm and toasty on my couch for WrestleMania Night 2 after I froze my butt off for Night 1. But I would not want to attend both nights regardless. So I wasn't looking to get those 2 day deals. I don't believe the single tickets have been released yet.
No.
If they are, and they're not so bad, sure.
Again,
but
wait 2 weeks.
We'll see.
They'll drop big time. That's what happened with Mania. They got all the way down to like 140 at one point for one.
Yeah.
So
they'll get there eventually. And look, I'm not the kind of guy that needs like front row tickets either. So I'm just happy to be there. So if they drop to a considerable price where it seems like it's doable, yeah, I'll be there. If not, whatever.
So who we got winning?
It's Jey. You know, I just don't think there's a chance that Logan wins the world title. I just don't think we're ready for it yet. And I also don't think that Logan's proven himself to be that guy yet.
I think Logan is more suited for a Money in the Bank and a cash-in to win if he was ever going to win a world title. Because he's not there every week, so that would mean the Money in the Bank isn't in our face every week. And then when we get a cash-in, it would legit be a surprise because, like, oh, Logan Paul's here? What the heck? Oh, that's right, he's Money in the Bank. It would that would be someone I looked at very closely for a Money in the Bank winner.
And think about how well they can execute that just by teasing stuff like, oh, well, Logan's going to be with his brother in his brother Jake's corner as he's training for this fight, so he's not going to be here this weekend.
Logan
and boom, out of nowhere, his music hits and cashes in. It's like, holy crap, you know?
Logan Paul is going to be on SmackDown this week. You're like, oh, I have to watch. I have to. I have like because he's not.
This could be a cash in, right?
Yeah.
He's
like,
right.
I think he'd be someone I look closely at with it, just for that reason. Ron says, I commend WWE for managing to continue without Cody or Roman. They've always managed to move on no matter who leaves. The machine has managed to survive any loss. Hogan, Austin, Roxy. Yeah, that's how it works. And you know, they have the most insanely talented roster of all time.
They do. Look,
it's wild.
And think about it this way. They can survive that right now because of what you said. During the Attitude Era too. Yeah, even if Austin went down, man, there were so many guys that were over chomping at the bit.
Triple H. And then you had the mid-card people were even like
right, you had Jericho.
Like, you had people like Jericho, Godfather was so over. Like they just had that. And I feel like this roster trumps that one.
Right.
Like, it's insane.
Just think about how bad it was when Hogan left. And that's the thing that like them surviving that and even getting to the Attitude Era is crazy because I mean you went from Hulk Hogan being on top. Oh my God, did he ever? Because you go from Hogan being this guy on top, and then all of a sudden it's like TL Hopper and Sparky Plug, and it's like, what are we doing here? You know, like.
Yeah. Harry says I haven't been to a wrestling event since 2010. I mean, I've kind of been to a thing where I went to so many over the last 4 or 5 years that it's kind of like. It's just not as appealing to me anymore. Like I'll still go because I love watching wrestling, but I'm not gonna drop that kind of cash on it anymore. Like if I can get tickets cheap, I'll go.
That's
Courtney says we don't need to pay $2,000 for. No, you don't. That's
right.
Hey, the market is there for it. They're selling the tickets, so
and people are buying them.
Whatever. I can't say that that's dumb because it's working for them. I'm just not gonna do it. I'll go watch cheaper stuff.
Right.
Lou says Jay drops in a rematch with Walter, Gunther, or Seth, not to Logan. And yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. And Harry says, I don't think Logan is a world title guy. So we both think Jay is retaining. We're going to move on to the next one because we're quickly running out of time.
Yep.
Let's go to what's the fourth one? Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. We can touch on this one quickly because it has been going on a minute. Steel cage match.
Love that.
I think it's a brilliant way to end this feud.
Yes.
Look,
I think that we've gotten two guys who have cut really good promos leading up to this. They've had a good story. They've had a good build. If you're going to put I love that they put this is the final match for them. They're putting it inside of a steel cage. It's not a Hell in a Cell. It's not. It's a steel cage match. It's old school. It's Saturday night's main event. It fits. The only thing that would make this this match any better is if instead of them coming out with the actual cage, they come out with the old blue bars steel cage.
Get
like
ready
they had
for it.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It's the only way this would get better in my mind. I think these guys are two of the best guys on the roster right now. I think Damian Priest is unbelievably underrated. I think he's an actual top guy that people, for some reason, feel that they don't want to believe that he's a real top guy.
I think he's right there at the cusp.
I think he's there.
I think he's at the cusp. I don't think he could be the head of your company kind of guy, but I think he's the kind of guy you can put in the main event against your top guys, and he's believable, and he belongs. Like, that's where I think he is.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I loved his world title run.
And so did I.
Every title run he's had, I've enjoyed. Like,
he's not had a bad feud either. Like people, like I feel like
Dom I got mad about, but I'm also a Dom freak, so.
But I mean, okay. So I'll put it to you. But his mic skills, his mic work, his in-ring work, none of that was bad during anything he's ever done.
No.
He's just been successful in everything he's done. I just feel like he doesn't get enough credit.
I think
I think this is by and far the best spot for both of these guys. I think that a steel cage match on Saturday night's main event is a great blow off for a feud like this. This to me is the match I'm looking forward to the most because I love an old school steel cage match.
I think it's gonna be a good one. And Harry asks, is Priest injured? He just has the dental thing, like a tooth got knocked loose. So I don't think he's injured. I just think he has a tooth thing, and he might wait till after this match to get it fixed because it's in a cage, and it would not take much to knock that thing loose again.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'll ask you, who do you have winning? It's tough.
I think it really is, because there's a part of me that says, yeah, Drew can survive a loss, but then I'm like, man, Drew just beat Priest, and
Priest escapes, which is their silly thing they do. Drew doesn't technically lose.
He doesn't get pinned, right? He escapes, right? Exactly, and I think that's.
And then Drew can be like, well, he ran away from me, and he can still look
right,
strong and on that level. So
here's the thing: the way I think of this right now is, as of right now, both. Well, all right. So the world champion on SmackDown is a babyface. He's a heel. I think that a babyface needs to win this match, right? Because Cena's going to need an opponent, and Priest isn't a bad guy to put up against Cena during his world title run.
Yeah, sure. Match. Oh my goodness, we're not getting Punk and Cena. We're getting Cena and Priest.
It looks like it.
No, I'm going with Drew.
Okay, I like that.
Drew ate way too much crap last year.
I agree.
He needs to have a big year, and he needs to.
I agree.
So I'm taking Drew here.
Look,
man, Lou says he thinks Priest is gonna pin.
Wow,
gold, man. Go for it though. I like it. And then Harry says Drew won at Mania, so Priest. I think Priest is the kind of guy at the main event scene that's going to be like he's Kane. He's always going to be right there, but he's not there to win feuds. He's just there to have good feuds and put the guy over to move up. Because I think you could do Drew versus John Cena, even if Drew is the heel. I think those two characters, the way they operate, you could still have that match.
Hot take, I think that Drew McIntyre goes to Raw after this and wins the world title from Jey Uso. I think that Gunther getting this match against Jey is a red herring. I think everybody thinks that we're going to get up to this match and Gunther's just going to win the title back. I think Gunther's going to lose again. I think he's going to go to SmackDown. And I think he's going to have to, in his mind, rebuild himself to get up to the level of getting to John Cena. But ultimately, Cena will lose that title to Cody, in my opinion, before Gunther gets back up there to have that rematch from Crown Jewel to where Gunther maybe gets that win and that title back. That's my thought process on where we're going from here. I think that you're right. Drew needs a big win, but I also think that you can protect him in this match even if he loses. But I think Drew is winning the world title this year somewhere.
Yeah. Not having a draft this year is kind of weird.
They're going to do it. I think they're going to do it. I think give it another couple of weeks, they're going to announce it. I don't think that they did that transfer window and they really didn't change a lot. And I feel like these rosters really need to be freshened up. A lot of these feuds are dragging on, and they've got to separate some people.
I think they do it after SummerSlam. If they're going to do it after SummerSlam.
I'm not mad at that.
Harry says he thinks Gunther wins the 2026 Rumble. I'll say this: if Cody's champion, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's a WrestleMania 42 match, Gunther and Cody. Yes, I would be with that. So let's move on to the final match, which I think will be the best match of the night. Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker teaming up to take on the odd pairing of Sami Zayn and CM Punk. First and foremost, how about that crowd on Monday? That was
I loved that.
Go to Greenville for a pay-per-view. They earned it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thought there was a point where I was like, Punk's just going to stand there. He's just going to let this happen forever. Like, why wouldn't you? How cool was that?
I think he took it in just long enough.
He did.
I think he handled it well. But I think Greenville earned themselves a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
100%. Because that
was cool.
Amazing. So quick question, just based on my group chat and their rumblings. I think they're all crazy, but do you think there's any possibility here that Sami Zayn, I know Lou's going to love this one, Sami Zayn turns here and helps Breaker and Seth, and they all just beat the brakes off of Seth Rollins?
No.
So do you know what the main event of the show is?
Is it this?
It's Jey Uso and Logan Paul.
I figured that. Okay.
Which is why I don't think Sammy's turning here. Because
I don't think Sammy's turning either.
That would be a show-ending angle.
But what I do think is that Sammy accidentally cost Punk this match.
And we get a feud between those two because, oh my God, I'm just salivating at the thought.
So what I think is going to happen is that Breaker or Rollins is going to be in the corner. Sammy's going to load up the haluva kick. Punk's going to somehow get in the way. They're going to take Sammy out, or maybe Punk's in the way already. He's in the corner. He gets pulled in. Whatever happens, Sammy accidentally takes out Punk. Rollins and Breaker pin Sammy. Punk blames Sammy. Sammy tries to apologize. Punk doesn't want to accept it. Cross is going to be in Sammy's ear. Throughout this time to build this back up. Why are you taking this disrespect? You apologized. He doesn't want to accept your apology. You're not in the wrong here, Sammy. Why wouldn't you pull the trigger?
What happened at the press conference when he disrespected you then too, and then he apologized and everything was okay. Now he's trying it again. Come on, like that would be a good thing for Cross. Absolutely.
I think that's where we're going with this. I think that.
And Ron here brings up. He always hits people.
He does. He does.
You clumsy son of a bitch.
Sammy's got bad aim.
He says he doesn't want any swerve turn shenanigans. I don't either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad because I do at this point think there will be a third person added to Seth and Breaker. I think it's kind of become inevitable at this point.
Every report that's come out, it says that it's not going to happen. So yeah, I believe it's going to happen.
I don't think if it's going to happen, I think it's more likely to happen on Raw than on Saturday Night Main Event. Again, because it's a show ending angle, not a beginning of the show or end of like middle of the show thing. So I do think the accident thing is a plausible one. And Harry thinks that Sammy takes the bin.
I do too.
If we're going the route that Albert was talking about, where Punk apologizes and all that stuff, and that's how we lead into that. Yeah, Sammy should take the pin. I'm going to be bold here. I think Punk takes the pin because of Sammy. That's what I'm going to go with.
I'm actually trying to think here. Has Punk been pinned like more than once or twice since he's come back? Like I don't even remember him.
Didn't Drew pin him?
I feel like that's the only one, right?
And then I'll look it up.
He beat Seth every time they wrestled. Right? They had like 3 one-on-one matches and Punk won all of them. And I don't remember him being pinned at all during this run. So for me, I feel like they continue that. And Sammy's the one who eats the pin here because it's Sammy, right?
He lost to Gunther in a cage match, but I think it was because Gunther escaped. Gunther versus CM Punk. That ended in a double count out. So these are house shows. So they don't even matter. Seth beat him in the cage, but it was because Seth escaped. He got pinned in the Elimination Chamber.
Okay, Drew pinned him. Cena eliminated Punk in the chamber. Okay, there we go.
And I think that's it. Drew McIntyre pinned him, and that's it.
That's what I'm saying. They protected Punk really, really well since they started. I don't think he gets.
You know who Punk would eat a pin for though?
Braun Breaker.
Absolutely.
I agree. I don't think it happens at Saturday Night's Main Event.
I'm gonna be bold. Hey, Lou gave us a bold thing. I'm gonna give y'all.
I like that. I like that.
Punk is pinned. But then again, Seth has to get the pin because he's going after the world title. So
does he?
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in this kind of booking. If you,
I think so too. But it's also silly. He's a heel, and he can take credit for it regardless.
There was a scenario that just happened that really irked me because they didn't do it that way. I don't remember what it was, so it didn't irk me that bad. But I just think it's if you're trying to build someone up for a world title thing, and they're in matches, they should be getting the wins to build them up. That's just how I see it. Like I knew Lou was. He says, "Yeah, heel Sammy." No.
I think it's happening.
Punk before you give me heel Sammy, baby. But then you saw that Greenfield crowd, and it's like,
yeah, there's no way people aren't booing CM Punk. I don't care what you tell me. They're not. Yeah, they're not booing Punk. So.
Oh, and he forgot to add Theory and Waller to the Jacob. I think theirs is different.
It is, and I love their interaction on Raw. I think Theory
laughing at that.
Theory is a babyface right now, and
that crowd giving I loved it. Like even he was like, "Oh snap, they like me here." Like
this is different. Theory, I think that at this point, Theory knows what's been going on, and Theory's has been pretending to be Waller's friend for the past couple of weeks now, just to get back at Waller until before he inevitably Waller snaps a turn on him. And honestly, I know this has been dragged out a long time. I think it's smart because there's so much other stuff going on. I feel like this would just get lost in the shuffle if it just,
It's going into WrestleMania season would have been a dumb thing,
right?
Because it would have been lost in the shuffle.
Because then who cares?
To put on the cape and defend it to an extent. At least it hasn't been in our face the entire time. Like, I agree it's been taking way too long, but it hasn't been on the TV in front of my face every single week brewing. And like, there's been big breaks between it, which is still not the best thing, but that's me defending it to an extent. And yes, Courtney says Theory was laughing at Waller. That was great. Like, I love it.
It was just a little.
Ron says, can we have Americano heel and Gable face, or have them on separate shows? I want to see a dramatic match between the two of them. And I want to see El Grande Americano and the Money in the Bank. God, do I want to see that. Oh, man. God,
yes.
All right.
El Grande and the Bank.
Theory, Seth's new guy. I know a lot of people are with that, but I think with that crowd reaction, it would be crazy not to capitalize on it and start pushing him as a face, which is what I think he will naturally be better at. Like, he just has that quality to him.
I think that there's a lot of things about Theory that makes him unlikable, but I also think that those things about him that make him unlikable kind of make him a little bit more likable. Yeah. But one thing about John Cena is that a lot of people, when he debuted, people were like, this guy's not a babyface. He's everything that every guy would want to be, so you hate him for it, Yeah. I feel like that's what Theory was, and Theory threw that in your face. Look at me. I'm young. I'm athletic. I'm good looking. I have 75 abs. He has that package. But then we saw him be able to be goofy with the way. And I think that really
the way was really good for him.
It was eye-opening to me to show that this guy has range, and he could be a really fun babyface if they pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, that's why I think he should have lost to Cena. Humble him.
I think it was
right.
Look, hindsight is 20/20, right? I mean, Vince was so high on him at that point.
I had the vision. I was a visionary, baby. I seen that shit a mile away. But yeah, so we both are taking Seth and Braun to win here. Okay.
Yes.
And do we think a third man shows up? Do you think?
No. And here's the other thing why is who?
We're all in agreement with that. So
yeah, like
Bronson Reed.
He's not healthy yet.
We'll see.
No, he's
100%. That's my thing. He doesn't have to. He can.
I know what you're saying, but it's his leg. If it was his ankle. You know what I mean? If it was his arm, I'd be like, yeah, sure, because he doesn't really need to do much. The guy's got to walk and run if he's going to be, picking people up or picking people up and stuff.
Injury status, and then we're going to end the show because we are over. But I am curious here because I haven't seen anything that says he's better, but I haven't seen anything. We lost Albert. But we haven't seen anything that says that he is not good. It's been very, very iffy. There we go. And Albert's back. I was saying, we haven't seen if he's better.
I was here the whole time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So here, I'm on, for some reason, it says that my camera unplugged. That's why I look fuzzy. Apologies. So I agree. My thing is this. I just think that if they're going to have a heater, thank you, Harry. You read my mind again. I think if they're going to have a heater, it's going to be someone like Omos. And the reason being is that I just have this odd feeling that JC Mateo debuting with the bloodline isn't going to be a permanent thing. And I think that we get this new run of natural disasters with JC Mateo and Bronson Reed as a tag team.
I just looked this up. I don't know how accurate it is, but I will just say what I found because I do find it to be interesting. Recovery. Reed is undergoing rehabilitation and is expected to be able to return to the ring around May or June.
Okay. Well, then if that's the case, then hey, you know what?
Again, one of the last things I've ever seen on Twitter was him posting a wave, or maybe someone sent it to me. He posted the ocean wave like it was starting to build. The tsunami is coming. That's what I took from that.
I hope you're right.
So yeah,
because I would love
think
to
he'd
see.
be so good. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. My goodness. I'm not messing with Seth. If I was Sammy, I would go right back to them and say, hey, can I get that deal that y'all offered me a while ago?
Yeah, right.
Please. Because I'm not taking a spear from Braun Breaker and then taking 3 tsunamis from Bronson Reed week after week after week. That'd be insane.
No, thank you.
And Ron asked, was Reed a real member of the Blood? No, it was kind of like just with Punk joining the Bloodline. It was just like, hey,
one night only.
A 5th to help. You're our 5th. So yeah, get it together, Al.
Try him.
Omos. I don't even know what we're doing with Omos at this point, so I'm not booking him in anything. He's just gonna have to show up and show me, because it's like, what's taking so long? What's going on, man? But yeah, so that's that. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching, as always, and thank you for joining in the comments. Y'all was up in them tonight. Much appreciated.
Always.
Looking forward to Saturday Night Main Event. So before we go, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your excitement level?
At like a 9. Like I'm actually really excited for this. I have to go to Medieval Times this weekend for a buddy's.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I have to go to Medieval Times. Shut up.
No. I'm not saying that in a negative way. In any way.
Times.
Yes, I am, and it's for a fake bachelor party for one of my friends, which is even more fun. So we're pretending that this is his bachelor party, and he's like, oh man, and the real bachelor party is going to be later on, which is a cool thing. So
just a tidbit, they're opening a Dolly Parton pirate show that's like Medieval Times here where I live, and I'm looking forward to going to that, because I think Medieval Times is amazing, and I want to see a pirate show.
Dude, I saw a pirate show in Florida the first time I ever went, and this is this is wrestling related, so I'll tell this story very quickly. There was a wrestler named Jarrell Clark. He was Mr. 630. It was like really like before, like it was right after Jack Evans had kind of like been the only person to ever do like the 630.
Okay.
He had kind of been like the guy after, and it was like his gimmick. I randomly go to this pirate show, and they introduce it, and it's like, and here, this pirate, Jarrell Clark. I went, no way, right? It's the same dude. So I met him after the show and everything, and then talked to him, and I was like, I'm a big fan of your wrestling work. And he like looked at me like I had 7 heads. He was like, oh man, I didn't know anybody would have like recognized me. And I'm like, sorry, dude. And I was like, what are you doing here? He was like, got to pay the bills. And I was like, respect, dude. Yeah. Respect.
Yeah. Big time. So you said 9. Ron says 7. Harry says 7.5. I'm at like an 8, 8.5. I think it's a little bit predictable, but I am looking forward to all the matches.
Cage match to me that's it. Like, give me a Saturday night's main event cage match. Makes me think of Hogan versus Orndorff.
Yeah, that should be fun. So yeah, fun show is on the horizon, and that's all you can ask for as a wrestling fan. So so I think these are all ratings are proper. So with that, next week, we're going to figure out the scheduling for next week. I'll have to talk to Al through the week to see if we can figure something out, because I have some things that pop up. Lou says 8 3/4, and he's laughing. He's like, oh, he's splitting. He's playing, I can't even think of the word right now.
He's playing chess, but we're all playing checkers.
Buddy, Indiana in 4. With that said, we'll try our best to be back next week. There will be no Friday Nitro review this week, though, as again, I have a new position at work, so I have to do some shifts now, and that's like, what the heck is happening? But we will figure out next week's show. We'll be back. We'll talk about some Saturday Night Main Event post-show stuff, what happens on Raw, and maybe by then Finn will have apologized to Dom. But until then, we will see you then.
Dom has apologized to Finn. Yes, right.
You know what I mean? Toodles. I'm doing both of them. I'm never dropping the